Hey everybody, we're back with more Gifts from the Gods, Ancient Words and Wisdoms from Greek and Roman Mythology. Today, this is going to be connected to lesson number 5. We're reading pages 60 to 64. It has to do with Pandora and her box. And this is not the phrase Pandora's box is not a phrase that is used a ton nowadays. But if you listen to some old-fashioned people like myself, you may hear this used more often. So we're going to hear about her story, who she was, and what happened, and then should be able to figure out what this phrase and this word mean. Pandora's box. So Pandora's box. Pandora's box, a source of many unforeseen troubles or problems. It's Pandora's box, isn't it? The myth. The minute you opened that milk carton, it was all there, every evil thing, and you'll never be able to put it back. It's out now. And Carolyn B. Cooney wrote that. The face on the milk carton, I believe that's a children's book, but I'm not exactly sure. And you can see there's a box and stuff that's coming out of it. That'll make more sense to you in just a little while. Pandora was the first woman on Earth. Zeus commanded Hephaestus, the god of fire and sculpture, to create her. Hephaestus modeled her body of earth, gave her a face like the immortal goddesses, and infused her with a human voice and vigor. When he was done, each god bestowed a special gift on her. Aphrodite gave her matchless beauty. Athena clothed her in silken gowns and taught her the art of needlework. Apollo gave her the gift of music. Hermes the power of persuasion. The three Graces covered her in jewels and braided her hair with sweetly scented flowers. When the gods and goddesses were finished, Zeus gave her one final gift: insatiable curiosity. And this is the picture of Hephaestus, or a picture of Hephaestus with his hobbled leg creating Pandora out of clay. And here are pictures of the different goddesses giving and gods giving their gifts to Pandora. Because they had granted her one gift each, the gods named this new creature Pandora, which means all gifts. But Zeus had not made Pandora out of kindness. Rather, he was planning to use her as a way to punish humans and their protector, the god Prometheus. Prometheus had stolen fire from the gods in defiance of Zeus' orders and given it to mankind. Knowing that Prometheus would be suspicious of a gift from him, Zeus offered Pandora in marriage to Epimetheus, who was Prometheus' brother. As a wedding gift, he sent along a lovely carved box. Handing the box to Pandora, Zeus looked her in the eye and warned, "Don't ever open it." Now, if you say don't ever open to someone and you give them a box and say don't open it, even if they're not really curious, they're going to want to open it. So someone who, like Pandora, is very curious, I bet we can guess what's going to happen. In those days, the world was a wonderful place to live. There was no sadness, no sickness, no old age, and no quarrels, and Pandora was very happy. Only one thing came to bother her: the mysterious box and its forbidden content. She could not get the box out of her mind. Why give a wedding gift and tell me I cannot open it? Surely Zeus had not meant what he said, thought Pandora. One day, while Epimetheus was away, Pandora could no longer resist the urge to sneak a look inside the box. Carefully, she cracked the lid open. Something within was crawling around. Tiny voices pleaded with her to let them out. Overcome with curiosity, Pandora flung open the lid. "Let us out, let us out, let us out, let us out!" There's Pandora sitting in perfect world with no pain, no misery, no nothing. Everyone's happy, no sickness, old age, or quarrels. Down here is her open the box. Here's the voices that she hears. And then, whoosh! Wow. Out from the box flew howling, wailing, snarling, insect-like creatures. Every misery burst forth. Disease, anger, cruelty, old age, despair, pain, suffering, lies, envy, gossip, vanity, greed, anxiety, and revenge filled the room and flew out the window to scatter all over the world. Horrified, Pandora slammed the lid shut. She tried to catch some of the miseries and put them back into the box, but it was too late. The only thing left in the box was a small, trembling thing. Hope. From then on, human life has been filled with great difficulty. But because Pandora caught hope before it could escape, humans are able to endure all the hardships that afflict us. With hope, all things are possible. I'll read this part in a second, but I think this story, I'm going to summarize it very quickly. First, you should summarize it on your own. So pause the video for a second, and then come back. So the general summary of the story is way back. Pandora was made by Hephaestus, and made her to be the first woman on Earth. She was given all sorts of different gifts by all the gods and goddesses, but Zeus had Pandora made to be a punishment to humans and the god Prometheus. And so he gave her curiosity in a box and said, don't ever open it. Pandora's life was great, just like everyone else's was, for a very long time, but she could not ignore her curiosity, and so she opened the box, and when she did, she released every misery out into the world, except for one tiny creature that remained in the box, which was hope. And we'll dive deeper into this when we talk about the story. But one way that this is interpreted is that someone who wrote it decided that all the pains of the world came from women. And this was a story to kind of show that if women weren't in the world, there wouldn't be a lot of pain. And so whenever I read this story to other people and myself, I also just want to make it very, very clear that someone created the story to tell that perspective. And in reality, all of these things have been in the world since the very, very beginning. There's a very similar story in the Bible where Eve eats of the forbidden fruit, and because of that, they gain knowledge and misery, that they were peaceful. So I think that those messages can be very damaging to young women. So know that pain and suffering have always been part of human existence, and no matter your gender, that we are all in it together, and we all need to have hope to make sure that we can get through difficult things. So when we talk about the story, we'll make sure we cover that as well. The last part, as here, the Romans called Hephaestus, the god that made Pandora out of clay, Vulcan. The god of fire, he lived inside Mount Etna, where he constantly labored at his forge, fashioning tools, jewelry, and even robots. Sometimes he worked so hard that his forge overheated, causing Mount Etna to burst forth with black smoke and fire, sending melted rocks down the mountainside. Because it was Vulcan who brought about these eruptions, people began to call Mount Etna and every mountain that behaved similarly a volcano, named after the god Vulcan, who was the god Hephaestus, but was changed to Vulcan when the Romans were around later than the Greeks. Excellent. I hope you, I don't know if enjoyed that story is a good one, but it is an interesting, very important story. And again, it connects to lesson 5, and I will see you over on that lesson video.